good evening from Truro Road, and it's Blue Square Bet South football once again. Perhaps a couple of weeks ago we wouldn't have been expecting it here, but it's the first home game of the season. First evening match, Truro City versus Havant and Waterlooville. I say we weren't expecting it a couple of weeks ago because we didn't know. The players decided to give in their notices. They were within perhaps minutes of walking out of the club because they'd had enough of not being paid on time. And rightly so, I don't blame them. If we were all working for a living, we'd need the money. But by some quirk of a move, we had the wages paid for July. That came with a dramatic twist from the chairman of Salisbury City. His company paid the money, and apparently we're told that hopefully they've got some sort of assurity that it will be coming at the appropriate time in each month. As it is, we've tried to interview Chairman Kevin Heaney, and he's told me that he's not well enough to be here at the game tonight, so we won't be hearing from Kevin. Mark Wilcott, the newly appointed CEO, will be here, but unfortunately, because of the situation, a little bit unknown even to him, we are not able to speak to Mark tonight, but he is assuring us that hopefully once he's got a bearing on where we're going, he will be happy to speak to all and everyone. So let's just concentrate on the game. That's what we're here for, and football is what it's all about, believe it or not, even though the crowd and the supporters are a little bit in the unknown and in the dark. But it's Havant and Waterlooville, the opponents tonight. They managed a 1-1 draw on Saturday in the opening Saturday of the season. That was a home game against Chelmsford City, and it was a 94th minute equaliser by striker Ollie Palmer that ensured they got at least a point. Meanwhile, up in Essex, Billericay were Truro's opponents, a long trip, and for no points, unfortunately. Manager Lee Hodges apparently fairly content with the performance, but a bit of sloppy defending and a last-minute conceding of a goal meant that it was a long trip home for City. Tonight, well, we're blessed with, hopefully, the return of the injured Stewart Yetton and Andy Watkins, who both missed that game on Saturday. Unfortunately, we've still got longer-term injuries to Steve Adams and Marcus Martin and Martin Watts. Adams and Martin, we're hoping will be a few weeks. Watts might be a little bit longer, so we're a little bit in the unknown with that one. And Lee Hodges himself is suspended for the second game tonight, and he will be back available on Saturday. So that's Piran Films football, Truro City versus Havant and Waterlooville.
Back in motion here, Apple, good ball Andy Watkins, and another shot from distance, this time on target. Masters having to go down to his left to save. Williams towards Moore. Watkins doing well to keep the ball in play. Moore heads it on towards the number 10, cuts inside with the shot, and there it is! First goal of the season for Andy Watkins. 17 minutes on the clock. Good play between Moore and the number 10, and Watkins cuts inside and gives the goalkeeper Clark Masters no chance whatsoever. Truro City 1, Havant and Waterlooville 0. Pushing forward to Nettie on the edge of the box. Fouled by Williams, wins a free kick. Of course, he probably remembered by most of the Truro City supporters who witnessed the same match last season against Havant when he won a penalty and then stepped up and put it in the net. But under pressure, no doubt. The worked free kick, and it was a move which one assumes they worked on before tonight, but the shot from Steve Ramsey going well wide. Cuts inside, gets past Moore, then a little ball, square ball to Ramsey, hits the crossbar. Sandakan beaten on that occasion. Williams throw slipped out of his hand, but flipped on by Moore. Then the cross comes in, and it's a great shot by Watkins into that far corner, making the most of what looked to be almost a missed throw by Williams, but caught everyone out. Watkins first on the ball, turned, and then on the turn into the far corner. Truro 2-0 up after 4 minutes of the second half. Cook on the ball inside to Les Affle. Apple going at the defence, and a long shot, or long distance. Again, what, 30 yards? Always sailing over the goal, over the crossbar. Page's clearance, putting a bit of pressure on Aaron Pugh. Gets her first header back to Sandakum, but the substitute Ryan Moss making the most of perhaps a little bit of misunderstanding there. And the 17 minutes into the second half, Truro 2 haven't won. Sandakum's long kick met by the Havant number 5. Arthur misses that one as Les Affle moving towards the box, and surely the referee's, yes he has, pointed to the penalty spot. The foul by Chris Arthur just inside the penalty area. Les Affle, the man he brought down, the Truro's number 9, and referee having no hesitation pointing to the spot. So midway through the second half here, and surely looks like the skipper Jake Ash, the man stepping forward to hopefully wrap this game up. Ash waits for the referee to blow his whistle, moves forward. No trouble whatsoever. Gives City that 2-goal margin lead again. 23 minutes into the second half, and Jake Ash, skipper at Truro City, makes it 3-1. It's Truro 3-1 as Truro made substitution in that time. Andy Watkins, the man off, and it's Stewart Yetton on for his 300th appearance for Truro City. A round of applause from the 390 attendants here tonight at Truro Road. And it'd be great if Yetts could get on the score sheet as well, as it's for the moment Havant moving forward. Bailey goes to have a shot, in slid Yetton, and Yetton's first bit of action. Again, it's a 4-man wall. Unity with the effort over the wall. It hits the bar and goes in off the top of the crossbar, or the underside of the crossbar, and Havant still not giving up as yet. 25 minutes into the second half, 70 minutes on the clock, and it's Christian Unity who makes it 3-2 now. And Williams looks up, long ball forward towards Yetton. Yetton brings it down with his thigh and then turns and shoots. But on his 300th appearance, it wasn't to be another goal for Truro's lively goal poacher. Taggart with the corner. Oh, and there's the equaliser. Ed Harris at that near post. Racing, in fact, towards the ball. He still believes Havant have got a chance of 3 points here, but it's certainly one at the moment. Into stoppage time, Ed Harris with the header from the corner, and that's now Truro City 3, Havant 3.
It's just frustrating because it's identical to Saturday. You know, we've dominated the game, we've created the better chances, we've been the better side. You know, we've got the ball down against the team, by all accounts, who are fancy to do well, spending a bit of money, and we've been the better team again. And we've somehow walked off with only a point to show for it, and it's, you know, it's just really frustrating because, like I say, we should be top of the league. We should be 6 points, and we're sat with 1.
Well, good afternoon to a very wet and soaking Truro Road. We just had a downpour here in the last half hour or so, and at this moment in time, we're just, gone past 2 o'clock, and there's literally just a handful of people in the ground for this game this afternoon against league leaders Salisbury City. We welcome the City side down from Salisbury, top of the league at the moment, 2 games played, 2 games won. But you could say, if you look at the table and look at the opponents they played, Tunbridge Angels and AFC Hornchurch last Saturday, 2 sides that perhaps might not be the best of sides in the league throughout the season. So we're hoping that perhaps today Truro City can pick up that elusive win that they've been so close to, certainly on Tuesday night here against Havant, and unfortunate to lose last Saturday up at Billericay. Salisbury come here with 1 man to look out for, striker Jamie White, who is already in the top goal scorers list, 3 goals so far this season. But we have Andy Watkins, 2 goals Tuesday against Havant, and that was his first game of the season, and certainly looked to be on form. Let's hope his little niggled injury, which he had last Saturday, doesn't reoccur, and he's up front today alongside Kiefer Moore. Lee Hodges, he comes in as the 16th player in the squad today. He's served his 2-match suspension, and so he's available. I don't think there's going to be too many changes in the 11 from the 11 that started on Tuesday night. Let's hope, as I said earlier, Watkins is fit. Whether Stewart Yetton makes the starting 11 or not, we shall have to wait and see. But what we do know, it should be a cracking game. Surface will be slick and greasy, and let's hope that Truro City pick up that vital 3 points.
Back by the wind as the long-haired number 8, Stuart Sinclair, on the ball for Salisbury. And in fact, it's a chance, early chance from Daniel Fitchett there, put in by Chris McPhee, and Fitchett perhaps should have scored. Sandicum's goal kick, getting good distance, Moore got a head touch to it, but Cody Cook in possession and using Dan Green out on that right side. Apple sliding in, they're doing well, getting the ball back to Broad. And the cross from Green, good ball and a good goal, Kiefer Moore. 9 minutes on the clock, 1-0 City.
Yeah, what a great poacher's goal, absolutely superb, and don't forget the ball in from Joe Broad, super ball, absolutely fantastic. He got just on the inside the Salisbury defender, and as a forward, it's just there. You stick his long, lanky leg in there, and that's all it takes.
It was Dan Green who made the cross, and Moore touched it in. So James Clark, but certainly within 10 minutes that'll take it. Upset the league leaders a bit, and
into the penalty area.
Also means we've got a game on
Salisbury.
Ben Williams' clearance isn't effective, but his block was. Ball comes back in by Udoji towards the big number 4, Brian Dutton. Somehow it was Dan Green who got in there and prevented that ball from going in the net, as Salisbury still applying the pressure.
Is it me, I think, or do you think that's Joe Hart out there?
Sinclair. Good challenge there by Broad as Affle now takes on the ball. Moving forward into space, little ball in towards number 7, Alan Kelly, and a great effort and blocked by, dare I say, Joe Hart. Brian Dutton again using that left side, this time Callum Hart cuts inside, looks to shoot, which he does, and well, keeper had it covered. Dan Green with the throw. Moore gets up, wins it, and Cody Cook, Joe Broad's headed towards Watkins, going off the throw to Salisbury, quickly taken by Hart, back to Puddy.
Joe Broad just seems to be sitting in front of the back 4, just to help mop up any indecision. Salisbury with the ball on the far side, stopping the they've had their moments, they've been knocking on the door, not really a huge amount in the past few moments. Chelsea form is quite too low.
Long clearance by Green towards Watkins, but Cook able to get the loose ball. Les Affle in this left, but again chooses Watkins on the right. Watkins going at number 5. Cross comes in, but not over the keeper.
No, I like that. Great stuff. I love forwards running at defenders as he did there, and just little unfortunate. Didn't quite connect with the second bite of the cherry there. But again, a good break by Truro.
But his kick met by Aaron Pugh. Sinclair heads it back. Ash is beaten to the ball by number 7, Chris McPhee. And then White went crashing into Sandicum.
Yeah, I thought that was quite brave of Jake to go though when he called it. Quite clearly he called it and came, but I also thought it was just a little too late, and as has happened. And Sonicum's gone down as well. Diving brave at the feet again.
Daniel fits it back to Sinclair. 1-2 with Chris McPhee, but that one didn't work out as Williams, again with that left foot, getting plenty of power but not distance. Hodges loses out in the air, the shot comes in by White, just wide. Sanderson's good kick forward. Moore meets it again. Watkins gets on the end of it. First time effort towards goal, and it's just inches wide.
Oh, fabulous, fabulous vision from him as well. Really, really so unlucky. Just another maybe 6 inches or so, whatever. Could have a great time to score as well. Again, I've really been impressed with the young boy Moore. How he's put himself about again. He's looked like he's played at this level for years.
It's a long throw into the box, headed away by Cook, only his vice Sinclair. Out to the fullback again. Gets a cross in. Sandercombe got his hands to it, but was fouled in the process. Now the break could be on if Watkins gets there first. He does, knocks it towards Affle. Affle gives it back to Watkins. Watkins doing well to get it past Hart, but off for a goal kick. It's Stewart Yetton with his first touch. Dan Green coming down this right flank. Deep cross towards Moore, and the header came in.
Super play. That's Greeny at his best there. Linked up well, supported well. Stewart Yetton did very well. Just held it up long enough to bring Green in, and a great cross from him. Again, young boy at the back post, very unlucky.
Sinclair coming forward, decides he looks for the long ball. Good control by Chris McPhee, brings it down, and then the cross just down to White. Great save by Sandercombe, but Sandercombe can't get the rebound. Number 3, Ryan Brett, nips in there, and it's 1-1.
But actually, that was a very good move. A super ball out to the left here, and just stretching Truro again. Nicely set up from the chest pass and finished off, and a good opportunity to go back off from the keeper.
Sandercombe did well to save the first one, really, and Brett was reacted quicker. Not able to get it, but Kelly does. And Truro do well to come away with the ball. Yetton running at the Salisbury defence, out left to Moore. Cuts back and crosses it with his right. Yetton goes out with a header, and look for a moment, it was going in that corner.
Oh, so did I. I just thought Yetzi himself will know. There's no need to tell him that that was a fantastic opportunity. Great opportunity. Good build-up again. Good bowling by the young guy Moore. Yetzi would know that was their gilt-head chance.
Well, Andy Watkins has joined us for the post-match talk on Truro City 1, Salisbury 1. For the game, what were your expectations?
I felt quite confident coming to the game, actually. They're obviously 1-2 from 2. We could have won 2 from 2 if we'd have taken our chances in the previous games. But from playing them last year, I felt we could come away with 3 points today.
Yeah, it's normally a tasty match, isn't it?
Yeah, without doubt, yeah. I actually missed the 6-0 game,
So did I.
the famous 6-0 game, unfortunately. But yeah, it's always a tasty encounter against Salisbury.
And the game itself, I think you might have rode a little bit of luck in the first 5 minutes when they had an opportunity, but scoring after 9 minutes, Kiefer Moore.
Yeah, he's been brilliant since he's come in. You know, he's a very young lad. He's come in. He's quite raw, but he's got a lot of power about him. He scores goals. I like the way he plays, and it's quite refreshing to have a big man up front with me, and someone who I can try and get some flick-ons and try and get him behind a little bit more. Yeah,
because actually in the time you've been here at Truro City, you haven't had that many opportunities of playing alongside a tall striker, have you?
No, not particularly. I've had a few strike partners in my time. Had some great strike partnerships in my time here, but I think Kiefer's probably the first one who you would call a real target man. Obviously, Grits played a bit with last year. Unfortunately, he's not here this year. But yeah, I've enjoyed playing with a lot of striking partnerships that I've had in my time.
So the game itself, after Kiefer put you in the lead, as the half went on, I honestly thought you were the better side.
Yeah, I think, like you said, they started off really brightly. They passed the ball. They like to pass the ball. They like to get the ball in strikers' feet. You know, they're quite cute and intricate. And a couple of times, I thought they played some decent football. But after we nullified that, I thought we'd come into it a bit more. And we had 1 or 2 chances. I didn't quite get my lob right. If that would have gone in 2-0, I think we would have been coming in really comfortable at half time. But we come in, sat down and sort of said, you know, we're in with a chance here. And I think, although they come out second half and had a real go, I think we were probably well worth our point at the end of the day.
And of course, you yourself, second game back in action, but second game that you had to come off.
Yeah, Tuesday I played 70 minutes, was struggling a little bit towards the end. I was slightly feeling a bit tired and had to come off. And today, unfortunately, I just felt it tighten again, and it's a problem I've got at the minute, just a bit of tightness in my hamstrings and groins. Hopefully, well, we've got a game Monday, which I'd like to be fit for, but I'm not too sure about that at the minute. But definitely we'll be looking to be fit for next Saturday. It seems to be a problem that lasts sort of 2 or 3 days and eases up again. So next Saturday, I think, will be the target.
Must be so frustrating though, after 2 goals Tuesday, and then you know you're possibly not in action.
Yeah, there's nothing worse. It was actually the first game last Saturday, and I was feeling awful. I really wanted to be up with the lads, and I hate not playing. I'm an awful watcher. I'd want to be playing Monday, but if I can't, like last Saturday, I could have possibly gone up and risked it and put myself back a couple of weeks. I don't want to do that. I don't want to miss any more games. So hopefully I'll be fit for next Saturday. Yeah.
And of course, Jake Ash went off injured in the first half. What's the news on the skipper?
Just spoke to a couple of people in there. He's gone off to A&E just to get himself checked out. His eyes were rolling a bit, I think, and he was not too sure where he was. So he's gone off just as a precaution, really. But I think if it's a concussion, it's normally 40 hours you shouldn't play for. So again, I would have thought he'd be touch and go for Monday as well.
So immediately pressure on for the bank holiday fixture.
Yeah, you know, we've got another big game against Weston. It's definitely a winnable game on Monday against Weston. We got to go there, and we need to get 3 points really. We've got 2 points at the minute, but we need to get points on the board. We've been playing well and coming away with a point or nothing. So we need to get a win under our belts if we can.
Yeah, certainly 2 points out of 9 doesn't look particularly good in the league table, but the performances have deserved more.
Yeah, obviously I wasn't there last Saturday, but by all accounts we should have won. I feel, 2-0 up and 3-1 up on Tuesday. You shouldn't let a lead slip like that. You know, we've seen a couple of costly mistakes, but today I thought we looked very, very good defensively. We didn't really look like conceding, apart from the first 5 minutes. Tim's made a great save for their goal, but then the lads just come and rebounded, unfortunately. But we did look a lot more secure. I think if we can get a bit more quality on the ball now and be a bit more confident in our play, we can go and I think we'll give any team a game in this league.
And final question, coming back to that lob you mentioned a few minutes ago, from where I was sitting in the stand, it looked as if it was going in. How close was it?
To be honest with you, I could see as soon as I hit it, I've always thought it was going to sneak wide. It was a couple inches wide, but if that would have gone in, that would have been a nice feeling. But unfortunately, can't have them all.
Well, what another week it's been in the name of Truro City Football Club. We seem to stumble from one disaster to another, and Friday morning when we were led to believe that the players hadn't had their wages for August, soon after it was followed by a City alert email coming out that Truro City were filing for administration. Now, what exactly that means, I've been investigating for the last 24 hours and I'm still not quite sure whether that's good or bad. Well, I know that obviously we've got a court case on Monday with the HMRC, and I guess that if we get the administration order in before that, well, at least we've got some control over what happens in the near future, and it is a very near future. We're going to have to move quickly. I know for a fact that there are a couple of bids that have apparently come in to buy the football club. One of those is very interested, but obviously you've got to go through lawyers and solicitors and whatever. But all we know is that we are possibly within 90 minutes of not seeing Truro City as we know it again. But all we can suggest is we pray and hope that we are here in 2 weeks' time. On the pitch, well, today's opponents, Boreham Wood, they arrive here second place in the Blue Square Bet South division. Last week we saw Salisbury here, and they were league leaders. This week it's the second place, as I said, and they come here 8 points from 4 games. Only scored 5 goals, so perhaps our defence might not be worked too hard today, but they have got a very impressive goals against tally, just conceding the 1 goal against AFC Hornchurch. For Truro City, well, we after that point at home here against Salisbury last Saturday. They went on the road, Weston-super-Mare on Bank Holiday Monday, and first win of the season, 2-0 against the Seaside Resort, and another goal for Kiefer Moore. He scored the vital goal in that game against Salisbury, and up there at Weston he scored the first goal, and the fans' favourite Stewart Yetton scored the second, and we picked up the 3 points. What we also do know though, that bad news, Aaron Pugh, central defender, he picked up an injury against Havant and Waterlooville, and having played 2 games has now realised that he's got a problem with his hand or his wrist. He's had surgery and he'll be out for a possible 4 to 6 weeks. The good news, skipper Jake Ash is back after concussion last Saturday. He will presumably be taking his place in the back 4 again alongside Lee Hodges. But we're not sure about Andy Watkins. Got this groin tweak which appeared again last Saturday. Didn't play Monday, and from what I gather he's going to have a late fitness test, and we'll wait and see. Fanny Carn, who's been a sub for most of the games this season, is also unavailable, and so a depleted squad is even less today. That's Truro City versus Boreham Wood.
So let's see if we can this corner in again. Montgomery to take it. Left-footed. Kelly was the first for Truro, but Montgomery with a cross in at the far post of Coughlin, got the header, and Sandercombe got the fingers to it. Green throw using Cody Cook, and then it's back to the number 2. Cross comes in, it's a good cross. Yetton gets up, but wide of the goal. Read well and intercepted, but City back in possession again. Williams looking to find Yetton, but it's nowhere near Stewart Yetton. But now it is. Yetton fed by Kelly, and there's the first goal. 27 minutes on the clock, and a pass by Kelly to Yetton. 1-0 City.
Yeah, the sniffers finish from there, Yetzi, and I think is it 218 now in that? I wonder how many on his left peg. And but yeah, great goal scorer's goal. Maury did well, Kelly did well, and there's Yetzi just sniffing in there. So great start for the guys.
Got Yetton on the goal line, and then a handful of players around the box, but keeper Russell, he stopped from making the throw, and referees deciding Jake Ash is going to go in the book for that.
I couldn't see that at all myself there. It was just really is becoming more finicky and pickety, whatever you want to call it. It's stop start again all the time.
All the players crammed into a little strip of the pitch as the kick. We know where the kick's going, and certainly Jake Ash did. Ends up back in the hands of Russell. Cook in, and that's number 2, Ben Nunn with that challenge, and now we've got all the players wanting to get involved.
I'm going to stick my neck out, and he's going. I'm going to stick my neck out, and the guy's going.
We've now got, what, 2 Truro players down for sure. One's got up, Kelly's got up. Cody Cook still on the deck. And well, Ben Nunn was the man, I think, who made the foul, but certainly the big number 5 of Laughlin wasn't slow in getting in the action.
No, it wasn't. No, he was in there to help his mate out, but I would think that the 2 now is absolutely sweating.
Hands innocently behind his back, and just waiting for the judgment. Referee goes to his pocket. Now we still can't see quite what colour the card is, but he's certainly, well, on the basis that he's spoken a long time to every player so far, and there it is, red card.
Yeah, I called it, and it had to be. I'll tell you why I base that on just how fussy and finicky he's been all afternoon, and there was an opportunity to just really make a mark.
I think he was calling over the assistant for some reason. In fact, yes, he's calling over both to give their verdict. We've now moved into stoppage time in the first half, and yes, I'm not quite surprised about this one. He's calling over the big number 5 who... Oh, another red card! Number 5, Charlie O'Loughlin, is also off.
Well, I didn't see that coming. I was about to say, if you're that size, if you're that size, you can't really go in and hide a little bit, can you?
Now we've got Jake Ash being called over by the referee. Now, are we going to see another red card?
I'm a little bit cautious here because he's already had a yellow. He's got a yellow and a red. Yeah.
So it's his second yellow, and that's him off as well. So 3 red cards for one incident, and now Stewart Yetton doing the right thing there, I think, in making sure that Jake leaves the pitch. So frustrating. It's a second yellow, and have we finished yet? I mean, referee Mr. Cook still not ready to get the action back going again, and now he's speaking to the skipper of Boreham Wood. But I think that'll be the last of any cards. Oh no, we've got another yellow card now. That's being shown, I guess, to the number 3. Is it? Yes, the number 3 who's also been given the yellow card. So from 1 bad tackle, 2 red cards, 2 yellows, and one of those yellows being a second yellow. So Jake Ash is off the pitch, and I would imagine the referee would really want to get this half over with now and get in the changing rooms. To Cliff Akurang, then using the pitch, knocking out wide to Mark Jones. Only got the 1 to aim for, and that's who it finds. Oh, and that was inches away from the equaliser.
Should be now sitting on the 7. He's starting to run the show, but the problem is we've got Form marking 1.
Now Les Affle with the chance, but wide of the goal. So still the Blues keeping possession. Montgomery lines up for a shot, a great shot, which Sandercombe punched away. Still Bournemouth. Boreham's number 10, Reitzer with the effort. I think it would be a big relief to all of us if City were to get a second goal somehow.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think not only will it just buoy them, which it will do, and the crowd to get behind them and things, it will sink Boreham as well.
Corner comes in towards Williams, and there it is! 19 minutes into the second half. Ben Williams, his first goal for the first team, and what a cracker!
I'm telling you, you match of the day tonight, whatever you want to see, you won't see a better headed goal than that. Absolutely fantastic, right at the far post with the power. He hung there just on the poise. Fantastic goal, great stuff. Then just as the guys in the crowd maybe wanted now to lift us, and that will really deflate Boreham.
Morgan in possession for Boreham Wood. Takes on Cook yet again. Cody Cook wins the tussle between the two and gets up, uses Les Affle. Watkins trying to time his run so he doesn't move offside. He goes left and Kelly is on the right. Green, another good run by the number 2. Can he get on the end of this? He does. Pushes it square, but it's too hard and Watkins can't get there, but he keeps it in play. Then back towards Yetton, and Yetton's effort over the crossbar and over the stand.
Oh, great. Oh, he's given a red. Oh, Dave, I'll let you carry on with that. You've had all the reds today. There you go.
And that's another red, and referee showing the skipper looked hard the card there. But I must admit, I was looking at Yetton's shot going over the stands. I'm not quite sure what happened there, but I think he caught Yetton on the run back.
A great result. I mean, it just shows what togetherness there is here on the pitch. Just a pity about everything that's gone on off the pitch, to be honest, which will overshadow anything that's happened today. We've had a brilliant start to the season, and yet it's going to be taken away, looks like, so unfortunate.
Yeah, I mean, obviously we only know what we read in the press, etc., about the situation. But Stewart Yetton, you've come in alongside Joe. What's going to happen from now on, do you reckon?
We're really unsure, to be honest. As far as we're aware, apparently the club goes into administration, and if investors want to come in and get involved, if they can prove that they've got the finances, I think that means they can maybe take over the club. Hopefully there's somebody out there, whether it's a group of people or if it's another individual. This is a fantastic club and it needs to be saved. Cornwall can't not just let this club fall apart, so it'd be heartbreaking if that happens.
Okay, and the goal today?
Yeah, lovely to get a goal. Obviously, it's just a tough day, to be honest. So yeah, really nice. Yeah.
And Joe, you're back. Dare I say it? You're finding your form this season again.
Yeah, I mean, well, it's nice to stay injury free, to be honest. Pre-season has been disrupted, but I've stayed stay fit, which is a big change for me. So, and when you stay fit, you obviously find a bit of form. So, I felt like I started really well, but I mean, none of it really. At the moment, there's an overriding feeling of sadness, really, to be honest. About some of us have been here 6-7 years, and a bit obviously sceptical where it's going to go and what's going to happen. So.
Yeah, you're sounding really down. Is this really the end, do you think? I mean, we've been very close to it on a number of occasions.
I think this is probably the closest it can be. So yes, it's really bad now. So hopefully, like I said, hopefully there's someone out there, another saviour. Hopefully something gets sorted. So that's all we can say. So.
A final word for the fans?
Unbelievable. That's the only word we can use. Really been fantastic all the way through to all of us. And if that is the last game, then we're going to thank them because it's their club. It's not anybody else's. It's a community club. That's what a football club is. Something for the community to get together, support, and just hope that continues.
It was a nasty tackle from their lad, Cody. And then, I shouldn't be running that far to get involved, especially when I've already been booked, however silly that first booking was. So, I can't really have any arguments. I think the heat of the day and everything that's gone on this week will probably let myself down a little bit there. But the fella raised his arm and caught me in the chops, and it was just silly all round. I think the referee probably, other than I disagree with my first book, and I think in that instance, I think the ref probably got it all right.
And you mentioned it already, that the pressure off the pitch this week. I mean, it's no stranger to the club and to the management and to the personnel here. It's been going on for so long now that, to be frank, we're all fed up with it. Where do we go from here?
I think Monday's a really important day for the future of the club. We've been assured by the club that it's definitely gone into administration. There was a bit of confusion over that yesterday. The club have apologised for their statement yesterday, which was worded really insensitively. As a group of players, we said to them that the only way the club could go forward was for it to go into administration. Just out of caring for the club, not out of any other ulterior motive. That was the only way that the club could carry on. It was reported as if we said we wouldn't play today if that didn't happen, which is certainly not the case. We'll see what happens Monday. If the club gets wound up on Monday, then obviously that's the end. The end of Truro City Football Club. Have to start under a different guise. And then if the club goes into administration, then it's still going to be a really difficult period because you've still got a process which can take months and months to resolve itself, and then you're asking players to, go far, far beyond the call of duty and stick about, with no prospect of ever necessarily getting paid. So, it's going to be, whichever way that goes on Monday, it's going to be difficult regardless. But, you got boys in there, boys, grown men in there, really upset after that game today because they care about their club. So fingers crossed Monday will go the way everyone wants it to go, and there will be a future for the club, but it's going to be really difficult. There's no escaping that.
Certainly, see Joe Broadby interviewed them, but the way they got the applause coming off the pitch, it was like an end of season promotion. It was amazing.
Yeah, I think the supporters have always been brilliant. I think they appreciate the situation that the players put themselves in, and that they've gone beyond the call of duty, and they're working far beyond ways that they should be expected to be. So I think that was really, really touching to see that from the fans. I think it meant a lot to the boys. I think that's why they were upset when they got in there. So hopefully that wasn't a farewell and a goodbye, but if it was lovely.
And if it goes the way of administration, it buys the clubs a little bit of time to work out perhaps a new owner of the football club. But as a group of players, have you sort of said to yourselves, look, we're only going to stick around for a few weeks or a few months? Have you actually got that far yet?
No, we've got no specific resolution. I think, a few of the boys now are in situations, in their life where they can't afford to carry on, just with a sort of empty promise or a vague promise of nothing really. So we haven't decided anything as a group. It's up to each individual what they want to do. But I think once Monday happens, at least when we sit down, or if the club or whoever sits down with the administrator, we know how much debt there is, we know whether it's viable for someone else to come in and buy the club or take over the club. Because there's no guarantee that could happen. The administrator could get to the bottom of the land and everything, and it might prove that no one would come in. It would be a bad business decision for someone to come in. Hopefully that's not the case. But until Monday happens, we don't really know. It's like a lot of the recent times, it's just all kind of shrouded in a little bit of mystery, really. So we're as much in the dark as everyone else.
And final word on the club itself. I mean, it's very sad to see it like this. And you know, what will you do if things go pear-shaped on Monday?
I'll have your job, Dave. I'll just travel around and do some commentaries.
And collect my fees.
Oh, you need them, yeah. No, I don't know. I haven't thought about it. I mean, it's, you know, I think it's just personally it's slightly more difficult for me. I obviously live in Truro, so you know, to travel to play at this level, you know, it's going to be a mission. So what I do is see what happens on Monday, and then judge it for the foreseeable future. Obviously, like a lot of the boys in there, we want to stay at the club. You know, 7-8 years now, so I don't have any desire to play anywhere else. But ultimately, that might be taken out of our hands. So, you know, we'll just it's just see what happens on Monday.
And of course, small matter of a game on Tuesday.
Yeah, obviously we've got to get there on Tuesday. And supporters, lovely Jess had a phone call from the supporters yesterday, said they would happily pay for the bus. But we were told by the club today that today's takings would be used to travel to the game on Tuesday. So fingers crossed that'll happen, and you know, that can be used to get to Tuesday's game if Monday, if we're not wound up on Monday. And then we'll go again. You know, we've played 5 games now. We've been the better team in all 5 games. So, you know, there's a nucleus of a side there that can compete at this level with a few additions. You know, we're a top 8, top 6, top 8 team. So if it works out Monday and things are positive, then it's really exciting. You know, not exciting, but it's there's a glimmer of hope. You know, but really, I think we have to be realistic and say that's all it is at the moment.
Okay, Jack Ash, skipper at Truro City, thanks very much, and let's hope we're talking again in 2 weeks' time. Well, we're still here, but what a fortnight we've had, both on and off the pitch. If I can quickly summarise, it's been a lot of happenings, but let's just take you back to 2 weeks ago and that match against Boreham Wood, which we've just seen. Then on the Monday, well, the administration order was filed, and that certainly bought us a little bit of time. At least it got rid of the HMRC winding up order, so it bought some future, hopefully, for Truro City. A day later, we were on the road to Basingstoke, just the 14 players, and unfortunately we went down 3-2, and Lee Hodges described the situation as being pretty grim. It also was, if you're looking at the league table, we went from 5th on the Saturday down to bottom, minus 2 points after a 10-point deduction from the administration order. With those points deducted, it was then on to Maidenhead United, and dare I say that result, Maidenhead 8, Truro City 0, probably the worst result for years that City have experienced, and there wasn't a lot of good news coming out from the camp. In fact, manager Lee Hodges had described it as the fact that perhaps the situation had caught up with the players, and certainly he was going to have a lot of hard work, perhaps persuading them to stay. At that time, the news was bad that they were looking to go elsewhere. Start of this week, we had the announcement from Lee that the management team of Lee, Dave Newton, Ian Lee and Deborah Sidhu were staying at the club for the time being, at least for another month. And then the real good news came on the Tuesday evening. Jake Ash, on behalf again of the staff and the players, announced that they were prepared, or several of the players were prepared, for a deferral of their wages until the end of October. And again, that was going to give the club time. The administrator was in, she was going to have a look at the situation, and hopefully people were going to come in that were interested to buy Truro City Football Club. Off the pitch, it also inspired the supporters. We've got a fans trust now formed. We've got supporters that are bringing in goods this afternoon to auction here after the match, both football related, and also I believe there's going to be ladies' clothes somewhere being auctioned at some time. So we've got supporters that are prepared to pick up players, bring them to the pitch for their games, and overall it's been an uplifting experience. But what we do need, and it will be interesting to see, we need a crowd worthy of the Conference League level. We've been averaging about 350. Big appeal's gone out today for people to turn up and watch. Let's hope they do. As far as on the pitch, it's Bromley that are here today. Almost forgotten who we're playing, to be fair. They're mid-table, they're 13th. They've got the same record as Truro, but obviously they haven't got that 10-point deduction. On their form record, they didn't have that good a start to the season, but they have won their last 2 games against Hornchurch and Bath. They haven't picked up a point away from home, so let's hope after the 90 minutes today they're still looking for that first elusive point on the road. Today, Truro City versus Bromley.
Oh, no, we got a chance. Shibani's just held up enough. Good play by Hall, but it's across from Ming. Headed away by Williams. Shot comes in by Malcolm, but El Fuseni, but over and almost out the ground. Oh, then Moore does well, shuts down the number 3 rule. Looks to cross it and wins the corner.
Well done, the young Moore again. Yeah, he closed him down well. This is with Stewart Yetton as well, working well. And yeah, good work by the young boy again.
There's Affle with the corner over everyone, but Joe Broad at the far post knocks it straight back in. Yetton couldn't quite get behind it. Affle decides to take on the number 3 rule. Still in possession, but defender doing well. Then Cook with a cross. Moore gets a header to it, but across the face of the goal. Just hustled off the ball by Malcolm, and then a long ball forward towards the number 9 Chiban, but out for a corner given away by Karen Hall.
It's definitely the ball of the game, without a doubt. Ball of the game. He had it in his mind as soon as the ball was dropped, chested back to him from the 8.
As everyone else for them in the box. Swabu got the header in.
Good chance, yeah. There was a great corner as well. As soon as it was coming in, it was just, of course, somebody going to get the head on that one. But fortunate for the Truro guys, it was wide of the post.
Oh, twice the number 7 Malcolm tried to get on the head on that one, but City moving forward. But Les Affle just lunging in after the ball, and slightly late challenge on Fuseni, which players are getting a bit excited.
Yeah, we saw that the other week, didn't we? With thankfully not as nowhere near as bad last week, where sort of 12 players all dived in a jump team, which makes the situation seem completely over the top and far worse than it is. But there was a late challenge by Les. We're sort of forming our own downfall here at the moment. We're just getting deeper and deeper, and getting passed about at the moment. Just try and keep it together the next 10 minutes.
Corner comes in, but those 10 minutes come too early. Header in by Pierre-Joseph Dubois from the corner by the number 7 Malcolm, and the City trailing 1-0.
Yeah, it was. I hate to call it. I wish I didn't. I wish I didn't feel it. It was getting a little flat. We were just been chasing shadows for the last 5 minutes, 10 minutes or so, and that summed it up. Actually, they were a lot sharper. The ball was caught back on our heels, as we have been doing the last 5 minutes or so, 10 minutes, and the guy stuck his header away well.
No better time to score, but just before the half-time break, 44 minutes on the clock. Affle with the corner. Up goes Williams, hits the bar! What a great effort. Hits the woodwork as it comes out. It's Williams again, finds Les Affle. Affle shut down by Joseph Dubois, and then Williams takes over, finds Cook. It's squared to Yetton, using Green. Cross will come in, it's towards that far post. Cook is there, but somehow managing to win the corner. Headed away by Waldron. Moore not making too much of an effort on that ball forward as Hodges knocks it back towards the keeper. Sanderson decided not to come, and it comes off the bar by Jarrett, with Truro well and truly beaten on that occasion. Well, Kate Breese, administrator for Truro City Football Club, thanks for sparing a few minutes. I guess match day, is that a busy day for you?
It is a busy day. Obviously, we've got to oversee the gate receipts, everything coming in to keep track of everything for the purpose of the administration. Hoping again for a bumper crowd this Saturday. Obviously, the more people that attend, the bigger the gate receipts, which enables us to continue trading, taking it week by week, as we're saying at the minute. But everything helps. As soon as a lot of people come through the gates, then we've got a bit more money to continue trading.
Yeah, I mean, you came out yesterday and said things are desperate. I mean, how desperate are they really?
Again, we're taking it literally week by week. The gate receipts, with the players and the staff agreeing to the deferral of their wages, is obviously helping massively. Without them, we wouldn't be where we are now. We are taking it week by week. We've had a lot of donations from people. we've had all people volunteering, willing to help. They're all helping. It's just keeping an eye on the cash flow to check what we've got going out is covered by what we've got coming in. It is a desperate situation. We do have interested parties registered, but we're still appealing for anybody else that's either willing to help out or is interested in taking the club forward to come forward as soon as possible, because we don't have a great deal of time left.
Not a great deal of time. You've got people interested. How many roughly are those interested?
We've had approximately 6 people register interest. As we've said previously, you know, we can have 50, 100 people that register interest. We need somebody to then turn that interest into a formal offer, which we're currently without. We're hoping, obviously, one of the interested parties or another one that's yet to come forward will turn into a formal offer, but we're without one at this moment in time.
And presumably all 6, I mean, they've sort of shown interest, but do they know what sort of ballpark figure they need to invest into the club?
That's what we're discussing at the minute. Obviously, there's confidentiality documentation which we need to get in place to release things, figures and facts and figures to them. We do have that in place with a couple of them, so we're hoping to meet with them next week with a view to taking it forward.
Now, me being naive, if there's 6 people interested or 6 parties interested, would it not be easier and better for you if all 6 got together and formed a sort of a coalition?
Well, absolutely. I mean, that's an option with the people that are involved. If you get a consortium of people together, if there are people, are interested parties that are perhaps a couple of people short that are already in a consortium, then, you know, absolutely, if they come forward and let us know those figures and how many people they are short, how much funding they are short, then of course we can then put them in touch to see if that's a possibility.
And the ground itself is owned by a separate company, and we were led to believe that when they bought the ground they were going to put some money in every month to keep the football club running. Mm-hmm. Is it still a possibility that perhaps they could form part of this deal?
We've got, that's obviously been looked into. The transactions are now being investigated to see exactly what's gone on there. You know, we've been in office a couple of weeks, so our primary objective at this moment in time is obviously to attempt to find a buyer. As we say, time's running out. There are those investigations going on in the background. That's obviously something that we would have to bottom out prior to probably taking the deal forward. But we're running those consecutively at the minute, looking into those transactions. So if we do get a firm purchaser, then we've got some details on that for them.
And of course, the rent or the lease on the ground, I believe, is only about 5 years long. I mean, what happens after that to anyone interested to take it on?
There would be negotiations that we would have, again, at that stage, once we'd got firm offers in place and we had somebody to take the club forward, then there'd be negotiations that we would be having to ensure, obviously, that the ground is available to play on, etc.
Now, of course, your company, you're not unused to trying to sort out football clubs.
Yes, by being assisted by Walker Morris, James Moore of Walker Morris, who's obviously very experienced in these in football clubs. I'm an insolvency practitioner. I deal with a diverse array of different companies. That's what my speciality is. I'm an insolvency practitioner here, and that's what we're employed to do to hopefully find a buyer and result in the survival of the club.
And what about the Conference League? What sort of stance are they taking with the club?
We've not had any central funding released. They did advise that it was at their discretion and they don't release the central funding to clubs in financial difficulty. I'm meeting up with them next week to discuss the position. As I say, at the moment we haven't had any funding. Whether that's a possibility after our meeting next week, I don't know, but that's the conversation we'll be having with them. And
of course, FA Cup action here today, FC Totton, the opposition. Prize money at stake if we win the game. Now the FA were a bit dodgy about having the game staged in the first place. Are we going to get that money when we win?
I would very much hope so. We'll cross that bridge when we come to it. Obviously, we're really hoping for a win today. The prize money is absolutely vital to us. You know, every penny is counting at the minute, and that would be a massive help to continue trading for a short while longer. So if we do hopefully get a win today, then that'll be the conversations that we're having with them, and hopefully they will release the prize money to us.
And after the game, there's a football auction. This evening, there's a race night. You put any money on a horse?
There's not personally. There's a lot of fundraising going on with the players and the staff. As we've said before, all the fundraising activities are going 100% back to the funds raised from those are going 100% back to the players and the staff. They've got a race night organised in various auctions. There's been bucket collections. There was about £1,200, £1,600 raised last week from that, so the people's generosity and the supporters have been absolutely fantastic. Obviously the players haven't been paid since August, so anything that we can get back to them to help out at this difficult time when they've not been paid, then that's our primary aim also.
And I did hear today that a national newspaper are putting funds into the running costs of the club. Any truth in that?
We've not had anything through so far. There was a story run in the national newspaper with regards to one of the fans having to give back the football shirt that was given to him by the goalie after a match. They did advise that they would give us a donation for being able to run that story. Still chasing them up, but we've not had anything as yet.
And finally, I mean, it's dire straits still. I mean, realistically, if no one comes forward with a firm bid, I mean, how many days, weeks have we got?
We're really in the hands of the players and the staff, as I say. Without their wage deferrals, we wouldn't even be where we are now. It's going to get to the point in a few weeks. I think some of the players have already put press statements out there that they're not willing to, or not willing but not able to continue on with the club anything past perhaps as little as a couple of weeks, a couple more matches. We're in their hands with their support and with the money that we can get back to them from the fundraising activities. As long as they stick with us, we can hopefully run, you know, just on the gate receipts coming forward, but with their wages being deferred when they're not willing to stick with us any longer because they can't, then you know, that's when we get to the point where we're just not going to be able to continue any longer.
And the gate receipts are the trading impetus of the club at the moment. Can anyone realistically come in and make a go of a football club these days?
I would hope so. I mean, looking into how things have been previously run, there are income streams that are available which haven't necessarily been as explored as much as they could have done previously, so that is an advantage to a possible purchaser coming forward, that there are other income streams that are available which would obviously assist in the running of the club that perhaps haven't been used as well as they could have been previously.
But it's for them to come to you and nag you to say, I want to buy this club, rather than you go to them.
Yes, absolutely. I mean, we need the interested parties to come forward, give us their details, and we'll be more than happy to meet with them and give them the necessary information that they'll need to make the decision on whether they're in a position to take it forward or not.
So if I win the lottery tonight, you're not prepared to say how much I need to put into the club?
I'll have that conversation with you tomorrow morning.
OK, Kate Breese, thanks very much.
No problem.
Today it's FA Cup action, second qualifying round of this competition, and certainly we'll be hoping for a good result today for Truro City. The same result would do. Joe Broad might score again, but Kevin Wills won't, of course, but we'll be looking forward to a successful day because it's money, that's what we want. Last season AFC Totton got as far as the second round proper in this competition. £100,000 they got from that trip down Wembley way. We've only got another 10 games to go before the final. That might be perhaps a little bit too ambitious, but at least a couple of wins would do to the old bank coffers a very good help at this time, when we've already spoken to Kate Breese, the administrator of the football club, and things are desperate, not quite knocking on the door, but they are still desperate. They need someone to come forward and perhaps put their money where their mouth is. As for today's action, well, after last week's defeat against Bromley, we have got Jake Ash back. He's the skipper is back after suspension. No injuries to speak of, no concerns on that front, and we might even see a new player. Bobby Hopkinson is hopefully going to be signing for the club. He's been released at Haverton, Waterlooville, but the powers to be, the league, etc., aren't quite sure whether he's going to be available or not. Last week's defeat, of course, was another blow as Truro try and climb up that league table. But today's FA Cup action, let's all enjoy it. It should be a win. Totton are, 10th in the Southern League Premier. We're a division above. We're asking for miracles on the pitch. We're asking for miracles off the pitch. We want someone to come forward and buy the club. That will be a real miracle. AFC Totton here against Truro City.
Moore knocks it back to Joe Broad. And using Affle, using Green. Broad's ball towards Watkins, not good enough though, and now the attack is on the other end, and Gillespie. But great challenge by Jake Ash. Good play by Affle, then using Broad, first time ball towards, or allowing Watkins to run onto it. Moore wants it at the near post, it goes over him. Can it find Cook? But good header away by the fullback Whitley, and perhaps a little shove in the back by Cody Cook. Gillespie uses Dave Allen, challenge from Dake Ash, and that's a penalty.
I thought it was correct decision. Yeah, just a little bit of 1-2. I have to say it's good play between the two Totton guys. Correct decision, unfortunately.
Totton didn't look too keen about taking it. It's number 11, Michael Gosney, who's about to have a go.
This is going wide of Sandercombe's left post.
Well, I'm sorry. Well, that's amazing. That's why we've got you as Summariser, Steve Massey. What a call that was.
I'm just going downtown to buy a lottery ticket. All right. I've seen him before. His body shape, his body language. It was on to be doing that.
Affle with a corner. Up goes Moore. Comes off. Looked like his shoulders, and then little header back by Dave Allen to the keeper. Gosney for AFC Totton on this left side. Good cross comes in, and it's Gillespie. First time.
What a fantastic ball! You won't find a better cross than that anywhere in the game in any standard of football this afternoon. First time ball in, and as a forward myself, used to love getting crosses in for there, and it was so dangerous to defend.
There'll be another long one. Aimed towards Watkins, he flicks it on. Yetton with first time effort, hits the post. Good run into the box. And effort wasn't too far over the crossbar. Totton moving forward. Davies in towards Gosney. Gosney first time effort, but he's offside.
Great decision. I was just about to shout. He hasn't got his flag up. His flag up. It was offside.
So second half FA Cup football here at Truro Road, and Summariser Steve Massey alongside me. I can't quite at the moment see us going all the way to Wembley.
No, maybe it's that suit I've ordered. Maybe I have to just wait for next year. Maybe at the moment that's how it's looking, but you never know. Stranger things as I'll have to just cancel that order for those Wembley suits now. It's the worst possible start we could have had. Worst possible start.
Davies not the required 10 yards. Oh, yes it was, because he moved forward. So Davies, the wall, cross comes in, and the header is Stewart Yetton.
Yeah, see what a great ball in from Hodgie. First onto it, great run across. Goal scorers, typically goal scorers goal there, and game on again now.
What's furthest round you got to in the FA Cup in your professional days?
Fourth round, Peterborough United against we were knocked out. I think it was Bristol City in the end, back in the early 80s.
Watkins, great cross by Watkins, finds Yetton, and then the right-footed shot by Williams.
Oh, if that had been on his left peg, I think it would have ripped the net out of the back of the post.
Good play between Broad and Watkins. Broad and Martin, then uses Watkins, and Yetton over the crossbar.
Oh, the guys, 3 or 4 of the guys down the haunches, hands on the head. It was a great chance for the boys to be back level in there. But again, my man Cookie involved in that 2 or 3 times.
No, Broad and Marcus Martin wanted it in the middle of the ball towards Williams. Williams brings it down, crosses it, but it's blocked by Hill, and the effort by Watkins.
It was good. It was good again from the boys again. Both Greeny and Williams pushing on. We've got a. Looks like we're going to see the debut of the new boy.
No, number 14 is Bobby Hopkinson, and No, Steve Massey will not like that substitution.
No, I'm sticking my neck out here. I'm sorry. Whoever's made that substitution is wrong. Unless he's got an injury, then I hold my hands up. The guy, Cookie, has changed the game. He's come on, he's got into positions, he's causing problems, he's a little linking up from the back four, from the front two. Nah, wrong. Totally wrong.
13 minutes of the match left to play, and Bobby Hopkinson carrying on for Cody Cook, and Hodges now under pressure. Knocked on by Williams, but it's the big number 5, Wiskin. Oh, what's Hodges doing here? He left it for Sandercombe, and that's the killer goal, perhaps. Gosney. 32 minutes into the second half, 3-1 to Totton.
I tell you what, Dave. I tell you what. Who on earth made that substitution once? Bloody I can't believe it. The guys are on top. There's no need to make a substitution. The guys are on top. You must have a feeling down there on the touchline or on the pitch. The game's changing. Truro were on top. They were causing all sorts of problems. Cookie himself was relishing the game in there. There's no need to make a substitution. What's the substitution for? I'm at a loss.
True, just a 3 at the back, but Marcus Martin gives that ball away too easily, and little ball waded through by Davis towards Gillespie. Sandercombe came off his line on that occasion and knocks it forward. Watkins against Hill on a first-time effort.
Good chance, actually. It was a very, very good chance. Keeper in no man's land there. Andy just a little bit of composure. Didn't have to blast the leather off it, blast those black spots off it. He had to just lob it. Just a little bit more composure to show him. But sorry, Dave. I'm just still at a loss. The debut boy Hopkinson. He reminds me of a player that was at Spurs years ago and went to. We've got a free kick in there. I just finished. He played at Spurs and played with me at Bournemouth. And Phil Holder. That's the last time I saw a bigger backside in a pair of shorts than that.
Once again, Truro City look as if any success in the FA Cup is eluding them. Long ball forward from Hopkinson to Watkins. Great ball. Number 7 brings it down, but challenged and gets the throw in. Martin takes on his man, tries a shot, falls nicely to Watkins. Watkins back to Hash. And it's surely Williams with the goal in stoppage time. Ben Williams makes it Truro 2, AFC Totton 3, as we're now in the scuffle on the goal line to try and get that ball back. Referee blowing his whistle, and it's just having no reaction whatsoever. What's going to happen here, Steve?
Oh, I tell you, it's like Keystone Cops, wasn't it? I thought they were expecting about 30 policemen arriving now. I mean, that really is silly, really. In that, I mean, it's I know what he's trying to do. He's trying to get the ball back to the centre circle as quickly as possible, and you know, it's just all handbags and stuff.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Truro Road for tonight's match against Bath City. A very interesting evening because we've just heard that the players have agreed to a further extension until the match against Dover on the 13th of October. This seems to be because of the intervention of the newly formed Fans Trust, and I'm sure you'll hear more about that as the information is forthcoming. Helping me this evening is Glyn Hooper as the Summariser, the new key manager, the former player manager of City when they got to Wembley. Bath City, interesting team, relegated last season, but have a very strong team on paper, although their form has been, to say the least, indifferent. Several interesting players. Jordan Rugg, number 9, signed today from Exeter. And their leading goal scorer is Curtis Guthrie, born in the Channel Islands and recently signed from Accrington Stanley. After the break, Truro City versus Bath City.
It's going to be an interesting battle tonight.
Les Affle moving across the field now, lays it back to Marcus Martin. Oh, what a great shot there by Marcus Martin. Bath player now making a lot of space for himself, trying to tee himself up for a shot. Calran sticking to him well there. Dangerous cross right across the face of the goal there. Bath pushing down this right flank yet again. This Gethin Hughes here looks a player to come down that right side, and a lovely cross and just over the bar. Long ball through, Andy Watkins chasing that now. Andy Watkins got to that ball first, slides it through. Yetton very close to that, picked up by the keeper Mellor.
Yeah, super chance for Watto. Again, he's got down the sides of the Bath centre half, who is struggling for pace, and Rollo's now in trouble as well. He's got down the side, yet he's hit it straight at the keeper.
Cut out, that cross was cut out nicely now, nicely to Les Affle, pushed off by Joe Broad. Nicely flicked on, Les Affle picking it up. And the referee has given a free kick there.
Yeah, again, good interplay from the middle of the park, with Les coming in off the left-hand side. Another opportunity a little bit further out this one, but I'm sure one of the boys is going to fancy it this evening. Surface very slippery, and he rebounds another opportunity. And Truro have now been in control of this game for the last 15 minutes, and they need to make some of this pressure count.
Off the wall there, Yetton's free kick. Curran Hall picks up, he's going to push it in. Nice one into the centre there. Lovely shot there, what a goal! What a goal by Stewart Yetton.
Magnificent finish, absolutely magnificent. He took the free kick, hit the wall, ball went out to the right-hand side, but his first thought was to get himself into the box. Good delivery in, and on the volley, hip height, just buries it in the bottom corner. Fully deserved. They've been pressuring Bath for the last 15 minutes. A great goal.
Ball picked up there, going to be a through ball. And there's a dangerous move here from the new player, and he's put it against the bar there. It's come out. There's still a chance here for Bath, trying to pick up the pieces now. Truro have closed them down nicely. They've had to lay the ball back. Foul there given against Stewart Yetton. Turns away from Les Affle there. Ball comes in, and it's cleared. Gethin Jones with the throw for Bath. Throws it back to Rollo. Pushes it through, nicely laid off. Gets out to the winger, Morgan. Nice cross. And that's the equaliser there from a lovely cross from Kerry Morgan.
Yeah, one of the first times Bath have managed to get it into the front man. Great little ball down, chest down. And again, one of the centre midfielders was able to break from the middle of the park without anyone tracking him. Delivery out to the wide area, great ball into the box of the back post, and unfortunately they weren't able to deal with Guthrie's height, who's finished with a header at the back post, 1-1.
And it is flicked on. And Tim Sandercombe's there, a very good save under the bar.
Well, it was a super save at the end. Dan Green was the player who should have been shielding in front and screening in front. Unfortunately, he wasn't tight enough. The long throw coming to Guthrie, and his flick nearly looped over Sandercombe into the goal. But a super fingertip save from him, which would have been very unlucky for Truro if they'd gone in 2-1 down. As it is, they go in at 1-1, and they've got to be quietly pleased with their performance, I would have thought, in the first half.
Bath bring it out quite nicely now. Push forward, and Guthrie there, nice turn. Guthrie taking it away there. Guthrie's moving at pace, cuts it back. Oh, the substitute there, Noel Keats, almost got the goal.
Should have scored, but a definite free kick. Dan Green got his body in front, and Guthrie just tugged on his shirt and pulled him round so he could get the other side of him. And both the assistant and the referee has missed that one.
Les Affle now battling for the ball. Ball's pushed away. It's breaking for. There's Guthrie, the danger man, picks the ball up again, lays it through there. And a good tackle there by Jake Ash. Good tackle. Again picked up though. Stewart Yetton pushes that ball out. Laid off Marcus Martin. There we go. A nice ball through there. Finds Yetton, lays it off. There's a chance. The referee says no penalty as Andy Watkins goes down.
The referee had a far better look at it than me, but it certainly looked from this angle that there was something in that. Great run again from Wasso. Yetzi linking play up. Yeah, I'd love to see that one on the replay.
The ball pushes it forward now, and here we've got a chance with Les Affle. Les Affle fires wide. A rare chance there for Truro.
Yeah, really good chance for Les, which, you know, at the moment the rumour around the club is that Les is on his way and has signed for Weymouth, and this could well be his last game today. Obviously we don't know what's going to happen in the future, but I think Les has decided enough's enough, and it'll be a sad loss for Truro, because I know he's been a popular player. He's a very exciting player with great pedigree. Coming in there from the left-hand side, you would have expected him to hit the target from there.
Andy Watkins now picks the ball up in the corner. Can he get away from his man? Yes, he's gone round his man. Andy Watkins coming in. He's coming in at pace. Andy Watkins lays it back, and it's a goal!
Yeah, well done. You know, they've come back into the game in the last 10 minutes. I'd love to know why Bath have changed their formation, because since they've gone 4-4-2, they seem to have completely lost their way. The boy Morgan's ended up needing to cover Cody. Cody's found a little bit extra in the last 15 minutes, and the threat that they showed for the first half an hour of the second half has disappeared. And I think that's probably fair reflection on the game in general, that Truro have got their noses in front. I thought they had the better of the first half. Second half, Bath were certainly in the ascendancy for the first 25 minutes, but since that change and they changed their tactics, it suited Truro.
Truro deep, no one's coming out, and it's got out to that danger man. It had to go to Morgan. And a great tackle there from Cody Cook.
Yeah, Cody's done well. He's shown him outside, and he's done enough by just showing him outside. And, as the game's gone on now, in that last 20 minutes, Cody's gone better and better against the lad.
And a good header clear there again from Cody Cook. And in it comes again. That's a dangerous ball. Oh, what a save!
Magnificent save. For all the world, that was in. As he's headed it, I thought there's no chance of tipping that over the bar by Sanders. Fantastic save. Come on, Truro, let's hold on. Now there's a dangerous position. The keeper's going to launch it into the box. All the Bath big fellas are up there. You know, this really is now nail-biting stuff.
And here we go, the ball's on the floor, fit forward, Morgan, the dangerous one, tries to chip it forward. Truro desperately trying to get rid of the ball. Back to Morgan, they've got to stop this man. Aaron Brown now looking to lay it off. And yes, Truro have gained 3 points. What a win.
Fantastic win from Truro. By all accounts, Bath tried to get the game off today. The manager and the chairman of Bath didn't want to come down and play this fixture. They've appealed to the league, but you know, the biggest fight is still left with Truro. You know, this is 3 points, but there's a far bigger picture than that at this football club. And for the 400 odd people that are here tonight, every single one of them will hope that Truro City Football Club keep continuing to play at this level.
Good night to you all. That's the result. Truro 2, Bath City 1.
Hopefully it won't be the last, all right? Well done, guys.
Well, my name is Will Jones. I am, I suppose, the figurehead, if you like, of the Truro Fans Trust. We've got a lot of good support behind us now. We're growing rapidly. I never experienced this kind of support levels. And yeah, like I say, we're growing rapidly, but we do need a lot of support to keep going. A lot of interested people who want to come aboard and help the trust, and we need to try and utilise that to take the trust forward and build for a better future for Truro City Football Club, really.
We hadn't heard of you a month ago. You seem to have come out of the woodwork, if that's not a rude remark. Can you tell us about your involvement in Cornwall?
Yeah, sure. My family own the St Austell breweries, and with my family owning that, I felt it in my interests and almost due to do something to help the football club, having the brewery had responsibilities with the club in the past, and if thinking, taking the club forward in the future, there is assistance from local business, and hopefully the St Austell breweries, being a large company throughout Cornwall and Devon, hopefully they'll want to get on board and promote the success of Cornish football.
What's your sort of background? What expertise have you got to bring to this post?
Okay, well, I suppose it's nothing too fantastic, but about 12 years ago I worked alongside people at Cardiff City. We organised a march to protest about the outgoing chairman then. We needed to bring in new investment. The club were languishing at the bottom of the 3rd division, which was a perilous situation to be in with no money, close to administration. And our group, which I didn't form, someone else formed, but I was part of, our group helped bring in Sam Haman, and a lot of people look back on that and that they will draw criticisms about Sam coming to the club, but after he came, he brought security to the club. He removed elements of the club which were demeaning to its name, and he helped create what was last year the Fans Club of the Year. It's a place you can take the whole family. So that's what I'm trying to create here at Truro, is to be able to offer something for everybody to come and be involved in. I don't want to be the figurehead. I'd like to pass this on to someone much more fitting, but I feel in the meantime I have to keep going to keep things rolling, because things are close now. I really believe that we've got a hope of saving our club.
How will that hope be realised?
Well, I have been informed that there are interested parties who would like to speak to the trust and talk further about taking the club forward. I can't say who they are, because at the moment I don't know who they are. In the past I've spoken to Steve Massey, who all the fans will know. Top man. I can't credit the bloke enough. His passion for the club is amazing, and if more people could get behind him and show the commitment that the fans are, I think Truro could become a force, and that's not being unrealistic. If everyone decided to put, so to speak, their money where their mouths were, we could really become something, and that's not being unrealistic.
Is it possible to keep this club afloat? I mean, what other income streams are there?
Well, at the moment, no income streams have really been explored. If you look at if I've seen the books, I've been through the books, I know the state of affairs, and without wishing to be too derogatory towards anyone that was involved previously, they're a mess. Things have got to be changed pretty quickly. The club's got to explore income revenues like marketing. We've got to think about producing things that we can sell, because the fans are interested in supporting the club. They want to, if they're going on holiday, they want to advertise that they're from Truro or they're from Cornwall and they're a Truro fan. So, there's lots of room. There's things like sponsoring players. It hasn't been done before. Little things like maybe involving cheerleaders. There's a college next door to the ground with, I imagine, dance classes. So I would dare say there are, young boys and girls who would like to come down, dance every week. It's another way of bringing in a few more people. It creates more of a family atmosphere. There are other things you can do, like it doesn't cost too much to bring in a bouncy castle, so you've got something for the younger children to do while the mums and dads get to enjoy themselves watching the football. Small ideas like that can make the difference between a fledgling club and a club that slowly climbs the leagues.
Is that going to bring in hundreds of thousands of pounds?
No, not at all. But when you combine lots of small efforts, that's when you see the difference. The idea of a trust is to open up ideas so everyone gets to say what they think will help the club. That's what we need. We need one person having a role and sticking to it and trying to push that role, develop that role. It's never going to work with one man trying to run everything. It's too much to expect. But if everyone chips in and takes control of something they feel not passionately about, but they feel secure and safe dealing with, then yeah, sure, the club will continue to grow, because I look at it now compared to a month ago and the club has grown. So yeah, the club can continue to grow.
From your own sort of professional background and work, what sort of expertise and background can you bring to this?
Well, I was a business development manager at Ford. I was one of the youngest, I think, when I initially went in there. I successfully worked for Ford for many years. Then when they experienced financial difficulties, I took my redundancy paycheck and invested in solar panelling. And I was lucky enough to make a substantial amount of money, not enough to be able to invest in a football club, but I can live comfortably and provide for my fiancée, and when I have children I can provide for them. I'm not in a position to be able to throw money at a football club. There aren't many people that are. But I know people, or I know of people, who are willing to invest small amounts in football clubs, and that's what I'm trying to do, to collectively bring these people together who, instead of, spending a certain amount at Salisbury City and Dorchester City, for example, might collectively come to Truro, where there is more potential, because it's a long way to go to another ground, another league ground, a League Two. You're talking Plymouth Argyle. That's quite a distance. It's a long way to travel.
So you feel that you can get something together in time for Tuesday?
I hope I can, and I'll work as hard as possible to make sure something can happen. The figures that have been announced, some people have said about in the press, they're nowhere near as bad as have been announced. They're workable. Jay Cash publicly came out and said that things aren't as bad as people read and hear, and he's right. It just takes someone with a bit of business nous to come in and restructure things. You need to make sure that the roles being offered are volunteer roles. You shouldn't expect to be paid for the work you do. I would never expect to take a penny out of Truro. The money I've spent so far, driving to meet supporters direct, etc., that's come out of my own pocket. I do not want any money back, and I'm willing to commit my own money, not a large amount, but a substantial fund, to the trust, to help grow the trust, and there are other members who are willing to do the same.
So you think the Dover game will go ahead next Saturday?
I'll make sure it will. I'll do my best anyway, and I know the players are behind us. Without the support of the players, who have been beyond fantastic, they're a different bunch of normal players. I know you shouldn't really say that, but in this case, I believe so. You look at other clubs who go to the wall, and no one really wants to hang around and do something and productively want to save the club, whereas in this case, they've stuck together. Manager Lee Hodges is an absolute credit. The way he managed to get results with what he has, he belongs in the Premiership. And again, with some of the boys we've got, I've said before that they are playing above their level, but they still want to stay and commit to Truro, and that's loyalty. And loyalty is a huge part of any football club. If the players want to play for you, you can go further. But what we want to do in the future is to build a structure where the youth are involved so much they have a say about the football club, and they are involved every stage of the way. I want to see as many young people down the ground as is possible, and I want to try and develop young talent in Cornwall, because that's vital. The amount of young talent that gets lost at the moment is shocking. You just have to look through the leagues to see where the players come from, and there aren't enough coming from Cornwall and Devon. There needs to be more, and I suppose that's the primary aim of Truro, to be able to sustain itself at conference level or beyond by producing talent developed through their own youth centres and not an academy, but our own youth centres.
Will Jones, I wish you well.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Welcome to Truro Road. I bet there's not many people out there that were expecting to hear me say that again. What a roller coaster of emotions we've had over the last few weeks. Twice, Truro City were very, very close to expulsion from the football conference. First of all, there was this problem of finding the £50,000 for the bond they had to commit to the league to make sure that they covered other clubs' travelling expenses, etc. The league actually allowed City a week's extension to find that money. Part of that reason that they gave that was because they thought there was possibly a sale of the club in the background, and that would have helped things. The week went on, the sale was looking imminent. We had news that there was someone interested in taking over the club. Then the league had to extend that deadline once again by a few hours, but no sale, no £50,000, which was even more important. The league were on the brink of expelling Truro City from football conference football. Then out of nowhere came three men, Jason and Peter Masters, Philip Perryman, two of them nightclub owners, one at a taxi firm. They came in and stumped up the money, and we were back on. Why they did it? Well, they wanted the Truro City Football Club to keep going. Peter Masters, the nightclub owner of L2 in Truro, Philip Perryman of AB2 Taxis, they're the ones behind the club now, and what a change from a week ago. There was an open meeting on Monday when the two proposed bidders, or the two hopefully owners of the club, were there. Things have moved on. We've had that open meeting. We've had fans here helping do things around the ground to tidy it up. We've had football as well. Truro City played up at Staines 3 weeks without a game. They were back in action, and the players have been paid. That's a novelty as well recently. So everything around the ground is buzzing, and Truro City is very much for the moment back on the map. There is the need, of course. We need people to come through the turnstiles. We need at least 700 to 800 every week, and that's the important thing. But for the moment, we're talking about football. It's Sutton United today after that defeat against Staines on Tuesday. It's very much back to the action on the pitch today at home against Sutton, and it's very much a matter of who's fit and available to play. Lee Hodges himself isn't available. He's got a hamstring problem. Stewart Yetton is out with a knee injury, but we do have Dan Green back after a match suspension. As far as the league table looks, well, Sutton, this is really a 6-pointer. Sutton aren't that far away from us, but points-wise, we're 12 points adrift from the next club, and unless we start winning points soon, there's going to be a slight problem on that matter. Lee Hodges is confident, though, with 31 games to go, wanting to be 5 or 6 points closer to the clubs above us by Christmas. There is a chance that we'll be looking at football conference next season, all being well. That's football, Truro Road, let's go for it.
Kick from Sandercombe, long ball forward, held in the wind but headed away, tried to be flicked on by Dundas. Martin goes in and wins the free kick. That's the first goal of the game, 3 minutes, 40 seconds on the clock. Truro City take the lead. Andy Watkins was the scorer. I'm hoping that Stuart Yetton was sat down beside me, saw that, because I didn't.
No, I didn't see a thing, Dave. But it's quite apt that he scored, because before the game I was winding the boys up about not being able to score without me. So it's good that he's got a goal. It's a good start for us.
To whether the man's allowed to have a plastic glass of drink in the stand or not. What's your opinion, Stuart?
If it was plastic, I wouldn't mind, Dave, but it's a real glass. But nah, rightly so. Security guards asked him to move, and he's refusing. It's actually quite entertaining.
Yes, on and off the pitch, which is what it's been for the last 3 or 4 weeks at Truro City. A ball by Joe Broad, played in towards Athel. Keeper comes out, long ball forward. 2 security men take the man off the stand. And it comes flicked on, shot by Ottaway, but wide. Just a danger there for the moment. Into the box, flicked on by Ottaway, and Hopkinson. In fact, Hopkinson didn't go for it, and it was a Sutton forward, came in on the blind side, off the upright into the net.
Yes, it's a very poor goal to give away that, Dave. Again, there's a flick on, it's the second phase. We just all caught a little bit square, not much movement, and everyone sort of flat-footed. The lads just ghosted in, and it's a real soft goal for me, that one, Dave.
Watkins throw to Broad, using Les Athel. Just Truro playing a nice little sort of triangle method, and the shot comes in, and a good effort by Joe Broad. Meanwhile, good move forward. Martin on the ball, but it's run blocked. Still City pushing forward. Hopkinson, a shot from a long way out.
A bit of an audacious attempt there, but Bobby's technically very good, and he's very comfortable with both feet. So, I mean, if he gets half a chance with the balls in his feet, he'll be comfortable to do those sort of things.
Vassell with the corner, short one, gets it back again, knocks it in. Oh, it comes off the post, but referee had already blown for infringement, and in fact, what's he given a penalty for? Handball, he's indicating. I'm not so sure that Sutton particularly want to take the penalty after they put it in the net.
I mean, to be honest, Dave, I mean, I think some of our boys are complaining about it being handball, but if it isn't handball, he scored anyway. So, from our point of view, obviously we'll take the fact that it's a penalty because it gives us a chance to maybe save it.
41 minutes on the clock, and referee insisting on everyone being outside the box. Here we go then. Oh, he hits a post, and so after all that, Truro got a little bit of luck. They perhaps been looking for a long time. Stewart Yetton alongside me, summarising this afternoon, and how were the chips?
The chips were lovely. A little bit too much sauce, I think. Just ruined them just a little bit, but that's an experience, Dave. I've not had chips here for a while, and it was showing then when I sauced them.
Stamp on his football, looks of things, but Watkins, ball comes off Stewart, back to the keeper. Oh, Watkins putting the keeper under pressure. Out to Stefan Payne. Can't get past Dan Green though. Green doing well, knocked it to Les Affle, and then Broad will clear. Watkins against Downer. Now Watkins against. Oh, and he's pulled back by Jamie Stewart. Now, what's going to happen with this one? Referee's got his cards out, but yes, it's a red card for the number 2, Jamie Stewart, and that was all about pace. He couldn't control it. Watkins raced on, and 32 minutes into the second half, we have a red card for the number 2, Jamie Stewart, and we have a free kick, which again could be dangerous. Let the ball go off as Watkins being asked to receive any treatment off the pitch.
Put out there, Dave. I fancy us to get a winner here. Going to go for a 2-1 Truro victory. Ever the optimist, and Arsenal have just scored as well.
And they're winning?
They are now 1-0. QPR down to 10 men as well for any of those that don't know that.
Oh no! The worst thing we could have had. The number 8, Stefan Payne, a little bit of room in the box, shot, and it went in the corner. And so the lesson from that is don't listen to Stewart Yetton.
Commentator's curse again. Everything I say, the opposite happens.
It's a warm welcome back to Truro Road. I say a welcome back because it's ages since we've been here. 4 weeks since a Conference South game was played here at Truro City, and that was a great win, 3-2. Plenty of drama on that occasion against Hornchurch. Today we're hoping for the same. In fact, we're now going to have 2 games in 4 days. It's Tunbridge today, and then on Tuesday evening, Dover. Let's start with Tunbridge. They're 13th in the table, and a mid-table opposition, which really speaking we should be looking to get 3 points from. Certainly if we're hoping to get out of that relegation zone. It's a massive month in December, 8 games in all, and certainly as player manager Lee Hodges has said, he's looking forward to picking up some points. We'll know by the end of this year, certainly the end of this month, that you know, if relegation is going to be staring us down the face, we're going to know pretty soon. Tunbridge today, and certainly on the pitch we're looking for a new face. Luke McCormick is in goal for City, and also off the pitch we've got a replacement for the retired coach Dave Newton in his come Martin Jones, and he's going to be assisting Lee on the touchline and in the dugout. So plenty of action here at Truro Road, as I say. We're still without Stewart Yetton on the pitch. We also don't know how his injury is faring at the moment. We're getting various tweets suggesting that he might be out for a few more weeks yet. So up front we'll be relying on Watkins and Kiefer Moore to do their stuff. We're relying on the fans to do their stuff as well. And this is Pirham Films doing their stuff.
Tunbridge moving forward, this time through the number 7, Ross to 11. All in towards Gale, but Ash was able to get a hit to it, and out comes McCormick. Not able to grab it. Hill with the cross in, but not on the goal and off the goal kick. Hopkinson takes it over Moore, but Cook gets the header, but just off target. Hill out widely on that left. The ball in towards Colin. Ash is right on his shoulder, but the ball comes in, it's missed by Gale, and then the shot by Treleaven is blocked. Looked as if it was goal bound. Gale with a very extravagant overhead kick, which on that occasion didn't come off. Miles looking to find feet, which he does. Colin gives that ball away though, as Joe Broad gets Kiefer Moore into the play. On goal with a shot, but knocked away by the left foot of Lee Worgan. But that was a good effort, falling to Truro's striker, Kiefer Moore. There's Hodges trying to find a way forward as Cook knocks it on. Martin, good run by the number 8. And then the shot by Cook, just wide. Suggestions perhaps of Martin was impeded with his run, but referee not having anything of it. Although Tunbridge losing possession, somehow they regain it, and now it's Hill on this right side, running at the Truro defence, using Colin, but the man's offside, and the goal will not count. Good play this by City is flying, challenging by Warder, got the ball away from Cook. Warder paying the penalty for that one is City attack. Cook's cross towards Watkins, but the header just wide. Not a sight that anyone wants to see at any sporting event, but it's the Tunbridge number 3, Danny Warder. So, action into the second half, and let's hope we have some goals to show you as Tunbridge with Tom Davis, long ball cross to Rory Hill, seems to have stayed on that right flank for Tunbridge, takes on Williams, goes outside of him, cross comes in over Colin and headed away by Jake Ash. And a long clearance by Martin, unorthodox, but it's got to Andy Watkins. Watkins to take on the big number 6, Ollie Schultz, and it's a penalty. 49 seconds into the second half, and the referee not hesitating. Marcus Martin with the responsibility to put City into the lead. Happy steps, and coolly placed to the opposite side that keeper Lee Worgan dived. And so with 90 seconds on the clock in the second half, Truro City 1-0 up against Tunbridge Angels. Living dangerously. Good. Oh, Martin's pulled back, but good advantage. Shot by Broad. Great save by the keeper Worgan. Well there to win the ball back for Truro, and then the ball by Joe Broad towards Moore. Moore comes inside of number 6, and the ball towards goal, but just to the outside of the right upright, and Moore goes so close. As if this will be the bounce ball that's going to be competed for. Martin against Davis. Martin got the better of that one. A Truro break, but Apple's run is blocked, but Watkins surely had advantage. But on that occasion, the referee, Mr. Knapp, calling the play back. Sonny Miles crosses. Hesitation there by the Truro defence on that occasion, and it's skied over by Schultz, but that was a real golden opportunity for an equaliser for Tunbridge. Joe Broad getting Cody Cook into the action, pulls the cross back towards Les Apple. Effort hits the bar and over, but so close to doubling the lead here for Truro City. Les Apple, great ball by Broad into Cody Cook, pulled the ball back, and then Les Apple hitting the bar from not too far out. Another kick taken by Worgan. Les Apple now, in the middle of the park. Over Miles to Kiefer Moore. Moore, can he take time, compose himself, comes inside, gets away from Miles. Then and a brilliant goal! He turns and just rifles the ball into the roof of the net. 2 minutes to go in this match, and surely 3 points on the scoreboard for Truro City.
Yeah, just saying to you, walking down there, Dave, it was nice to finally get what we've deserved from a game. You know, it was nip and tuck today, it wasn't loads in it, but I thought we were the better side, we looked solid. They didn't create a host of great chances, And first half, it looked like following the pattern that the last few games were have. We carved out some good chances, nothing too clear, but a couple of good added opportunities. And we got as soon as we got the goal, it was just a case of could we get a second one just to settle the nerves, because we've been in that position a couple of times this season, and with the numbers we've got and the lack of training we had during the early part of the season, there's always a concern you might concede. But no, absolutely delighted. The boys just incredible bunch in there. Hodgie said afterwards how proud he is of the group, and to keep soldiering on again, with still sort of a little bit of uncertainty around things, just says a lot about the boys. So yeah, delighted today. Going to enjoy that.
And of course, a massive month, 8 games in December, and these are sort of teams you've got to pick up points against, isn't it? Mid-table, you've got to win these matches.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, if we're serious about staying up, which as a group in there we definitely are, these are the teams we've got to beat. And equally, the Eastbournes that we were at last week, we're devastated not to get something that day, because we had 17, 18 corners, I think it was, and a lot of chances. So we have to beat these teams when we create those opportunities. And full credit to Kiefer, took the second one brilliantly. Les hit the crossbar, but we were a bit more clinical second half, because I think at times this year we've created chances that we should be taking, that when we give to the opposition they take, and that's the fine difference. There hasn't been much else between some of the teams. So we needed to beat these guys today, and we need to start going on a run now. Like you say, a lot of games coming up. If we can string 2 or 3 wins together, we're in with a shout and with a spirit in there. I wouldn't rule us out of doing it.
Let's look at the goals. I mean, the first one, penalty, foul or not?
I couldn't see. I know it's an easy thing to say, but I'm a defender in my defence, so I was about 30-40 yards. I had a chat with Andy. He said he had a hand in his back. But, I mean, for me, the blatant one was the one in the first half, where I think it was Marcus got absolutely poleaxed. And it's one of those frustrating ones that anywhere else on the pitch the referee gives. But that was even more of a penalty to me. But, yeah, I mean, I'm sure they'll feel aggrieved. But, we've had a few soft ones this year. And they do even out. But we needed that just to settle the nerves and just to get the crowd behind us a little bit more. And there was a little bit of a conflab between me and Marcus before the game as to who took them. I don't know how I've managed to lose the penalties. I'm 1 out of 1 for the season, but he got on them, and as long as they go in, it doesn't matter.
It was a good one, huh?
I thought it was poor. No, it was a good one that it went in. That's all I'm concerned about. If the goalie went the right way, he'd have saved it. So I've said to Hodgie about changing him next week. I'll see if I can get back on him.
Right, let's hope there's not one on Tuesday anyway. But the second goal, Kiefer Moore looked as if perhaps he delayed it, but what a goal.
He's capable of that. He's a funny lad, and I've said this to him. And he's one of a kind, personality-wise and playing-wise. He's a funny old stick. He just gets on with things, and he's a bit awkward, and on the pitch that is not. And he's a handful. And he's still got a lot to learn. He went quieter as the game went on. Actually, I felt last 20 minutes. I think he could have given a bit more, but he's still young, and he's played 15 Conference South games, and last year he was playing 7-8 leagues lower or whatever it was. So he took it so well. Like you say, I thought maybe the chance had gone, but he's capable of those little bits of magic. We see it in training. He's not the nicest fella to mark. He's big, he's strong, and if he creates that yard, he can take chances. So I'm delighted for him, and I think he's if he keeps buckling down and listening to the fellas, I think he's got a good future, definitely.
And of course at the back, clean sheet.
Yeah. We haven't had enough of them this season, and actually this season we've defended better than we did last season on the whole. We've had some games where we've really not given away many good chances, but we've conceded sloppy goals from corners, sloppy goals from free kicks. So delighted to get one today, because it has been too long. And you do pride yourselves. We were all saying the back four, last 10 minutes, look, let's take pride from this. Even when it went to 2-0, you still don't want to concede, you want to get one. So, Lukey played his part in that as well today. So, yeah, delighted for those boys back there.
But if you actually think about it, they didn't have that many chances to worry about. McCormick had possibly 2 saves to make for the whole game. So that's credit to you guys at the back four.
Yeah, well, and the midfield, Marcus and Broadie really put in a shift today, and Cody and Les worked back as well, a couple of times, some great tracking back from the 2 wide men. Real team effort, Yeah, of course, the back four, the ones that get the pats on the back, but, I think it was a team effort, and like you say, yeah, I can't remember Luke making a save where I thought, wow, that's a top keeper making a good save. It was, just some good hands where we took fairly comfortable shots. I think I'd have saved those ones.
Yes, we have seen you in goal this season. But overall, though, great performance. Small squad, though, 13 players. 2 subs didn't come on today. What's the any sort of niggles or serious troubles for Tuesday or not?
No, nothing. And arguably, hopefully, we'll be a player heavier. Martin Watts will be coming back. I didn't mean that with regards to his shape. He had a run out for the reserves today, so hopefully he can come back in on Tuesday. So that's another body back, and everyone knows the quality that Watsy's got. You know, he's a top player, and actually he was playing his best football when he got injured. So that would be a huge boost to have him back in the squad Tuesday. No knocks as far as I know. So and Hodgie's still talking about trying to get boys in. So you know, fingers crossed. 13 players will be a thing of the past, hopefully, as time goes on.
And let's put you on the spot. Skipper's got to take responsibility both on the pitch and off. Who's your man of the match today?
Ooh, wow. I'll give it to Gaffer. That's the best way to stay in his good books, isn't it? I thought he was monumental. No, he did brilliant back there. You know, he had some terrible boots on. I don't know if you noticed them, if you got them on shot, but despite the terrible boots, you know, he just digs in and he just sees the game so well. It's a pleasure to play alongside him. I'll get stick for that, but no, it's worth it. I thought he was brilliant, but it was a team effort. The boys, cliche, but the boys were just fantastic, and they all deserved the 3 points and the pat on the back.
Yeah, great result, Jake, and a great 3 points. We need them, and let's roll on Tuesday.
Absolutely, looking forward to it. Cheers, guys.
And I wonder what's in store for tonight's game. One thing for sure, City could be in for a tough encounter, as Dover haven't lost away from home all year and currently sit third in the league table. Team news is that we were looking forward to perhaps the same starting 11 as Saturday, but skipper Jake Ash has picked up an ankle injury, and so the starting 11 brings in Karen Hall in place of Jake, and alongside him on the subs bench tonight is a welcome return to Martin Watts, who's been out of the game for almost 2 years, 22 months or so since he last played, picking up an injury for the first team. We welcome him back, and alongside him and Jake is Danny Carn on the bench. Pyrenean Films will bring you the action after the break. Moore against Webb, and it was Moore who won that one for Truro. Cook turns and gets Watkins in the game. Good pace again by Andy Watkins, and wins the corner. Forward at the corner. Williams went near post. Hodges with a header, and then it's flicked on, and it's another corner, this time on the far side. Again, it went near post last time. This time it's more up in the air. Karen Hall gets the header, and Cook got the touch to it, but just wide. Cecil clears, but only as far as Bobby Hopkinson. Middle ball to Cody Cook. With the wind behind him, decides to have a go, but from the moment he left his foot, he was always going to go over the bar. Just over the half hour, Hodges with the free kick. Up goes Moore, in with a shot by Broad, which is blocked, and almost the opening goal of the game. Now it's City again on the move. Martin out to Les Affle. Comes inside, but his run is blocked, and now it's Marcus White. Little ball, delicate ball into Watkins. Watkins with a shot, but good attempt. Bricknell on the ball, and to turn. Using Ricky Modeste on this left flank on this occasion. Taken on Hopkinson. Cross comes in. McCormick went up for it, and somehow it is flicked into the net off the Dover strike force. And it's what is it? After 37 minutes, Ben May the scorer, but not the classiest of goals, but it's 1-0 to Dover. So second attempt, Les Affle's corner comes in, Moore meets it, but heads over the bar. Darryl McMahon taking it short to Bricknell, back to the man who took the free kick. Hopkinson doing well, getting in there. And Broad hooks it away. Moore flicks it on. Andy Watkins down, running on into the penalty area. Taking on Hugh, goes outside of him, across the box, but McMahon clears for Dover. Plenty of movement in the box. Moore gets a foot to it, but it's cleared by Ricky Modeste. Hodges to knock it back in. Moore flicks it on, but again it's cleared by the fullback Cessignon. And now it's a break on perhaps for the visitors. Ricky Modeste, little ball into Bricknell, but well read by Joe Broad. And then he finds Andy Watkins inside the margin. Moore He's got to hang on, otherwise he's offside, but he did. Now it's the number 9 in possession. Into Cody Cook. Cook looks to shot, shoot, and a brilliant effort, brilliant shot by Cody Cook. They're just touched away by the keeper, Mitch Walker, at the last moment. And that long kick by Walker going all the way through. And in fact, Woollett was the man who put it in the net, but the whistle just gone just before that for an infringement on Hodges. Corner comes in, it goes over more, and then it's at that far post, Ben Williams. But Williams' touch couldn't get it past the keeper. Hopkins has thrown down a touchdown net by Winter. No Woollett bringing Darryl McMahon into play on that far left. Falls to Cogan to Bricknell, and there we have the killer second goal. 30 minutes into the second half, and it looked simple come the end, but it's Dover's top scorer, Billy Bricknell, making it double figures for him this season with his 10th as Dover go 2-0 up against Truro City. There's Affle with the corner. It's a better one this time. 2 players go up for it over both the Dover's and Truro's players as Andy Watkins turns in the box. Gets past Sessignon, knocks it back, but it's blocked. And then a ball by Martin. Another throw which Williams will take in towards Moore, but cut out by Hugh. Now it's Adamola running at the hard to the Truro defence. Bricknell on the ball, using the substitute Woollett. Woollett with the effort into the back of the net. Looked for offside, but the break was on, and it's a Woollett 3rd goal for Dover. City now trailing by 3-0 with about 3 minutes to go.
Dover's number 15.